Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel Jazzland, where today we are going to continue the rental saga. Dun dun dun. Actually, it's not that bad. We don't need to be dramatic about it, but I am going to, this is a follow-up video to the one I just did on how I rent land in Second Life and where I rent it from and how I choose it. So that video, along with every link to a web page I show you in this video, all of that will be down in the show notes below the video. So no worries, everything will be linked down there and labeled so that you can go and check it out for yourself. But one of the questions after I showed the renting land video was the confusion with buying land in SL versus renting land in Second Life. So I want to kind of go through that because it does get confusing, and some of the terms that are used, until you get used to them, it's kind of like, well, what does that mean? Well, doesn't that mean the same thing? And most of the time it doesn't. So I'm going to put this video together and hopefully it'll help you. As always, if you have questions after you watch the video, please leave them in the comments, and if I need to clarify stuff or find an answer, then I'll try to do that for you. Alright, so here's the breakdown. Because people talk about buying land in Second Life, which you can do, and renting land in Second Life, which you can also do. But we're going to have to talk about the memberships to Second Life and the different levels, because that all plays a part in how you buy or rent land in Second Life. So I'll be covering that stuff as it relates to renting land or buying land in Second Life. So basically, you're going to be renting land from either Linden Labs or from another resident that has already rented from Linden Labs. They're like a landlord. Okay, so either way, you're still going to be paying somebody for something. Okay, let's start with, if you are a free user of Second Life, which means you don't have any of the membership levels, can you buy land in Second Life? And if you're just a free basic member, then no, you can't actually buy land from Linden Labs in Second Life. Okay, and when I say land, I'm talking about Mainland, which we'll talk about that too. So if you're a basic member, you cannot buy land from Linden Labs because you need a membership to do that kind of stuff. But you can rent land from a landlord who has already bought from Linden Labs and then rents it out to you. So you don't have to have a membership. Okay. So this is basically what I was showing you in my last video. So if you have a free membership, you can look at my last video and you can rent land that way from a landlord in Second Life. Okay, so let me just show you. This is the website that I showed you in my last video where I actually rent my land from. It's the cheapest place I found. I showed you how to use this website to find land. So again, that's linked down in the show notes. You can watch that video for more details on how to use this and find land to rent if you are have a free basic account with Linden Lab, which means you basically just signed up for Second Life and you're using the free version. That's it. You're not paying anything, right? All right, so that'll be in the show notes. So if you are that level, you can only rent land from other people, which we'll call your landlords in Second Life. Okay. All right. So then let's get into our memberships so I can talk about the rest of it. This is the actual page for Second Life that talks about premium memberships. All right. So let's look at this first. There's basically 4 different levels, which right now you can't see my cursor. Dang it. I want you to, oh yeah, you can see it. So there's a basic membership, there's a plus membership, Oh wait, you can't see that, can you? You guys, I need you to be able to see the whole thing. Y'all know I'm not good with this, right? I had to fix it on the last video I did this for. Bless it. Bless me. Bless my heart. Okay. There it is. Now you can see it. So basic, plus, premium, and then premium plus. Those are the 4 different levels of membership. This is what I was talking about. The free version. Okay. The free version. You can rent land. You don't have to get a membership to be able to have your own land in Second Life that you live on. All right. This one, the plus membership, which is $5.50 per month, and they also offer annual memberships where you pay yearly and they give you a discount. But let's look at the plus membership. See where it says private home? It talks about Linden homes. So if you're a plus member, you have a limited selection. If you're a premium member, there's a bigger selection. And if you're premium plus, it's the largest selection of Linden homes. And if you don't know what a Linden home is, I have a series where I show you all the Linden homes. It's a playlist on my channel, so you can search Linden homes and then watch through the playlist to see all the different homes that are available for each type of level. So the Linden home is going to factor into what we're talking about. And then this is all it tells you as far as what we're dealing with. I'm going to show you something else that's more detailed in a minute. So if you have a plus membership or a premium membership or a premium plus, you basically from Linden Lab get what's called a bonus. Let me see what it's called. Hang on. Well, let me back up. Let's go to Mainland pricing and fees. Mainland is all the land that Linden Lab owns, right? That's public for everybody. They also have, besides Mainland, they also have like their sims and regions that you can buy. If you're a member, you can buy one, but you're still going to pay them monthly to use the land. So you buy it, you purchase it, and then you pay a monthly, what they call tier, or a monthly land use fee. All right. So if you're buying from Linden Labs, you have different pricing and fees based on the size of land that you buy. 512 square meters is the smallest, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. And then 65,536 square meters is the largest. This is an entire region or a full sim. This is 3/4 of a sim, half a sim, 1/4 of a sim, 1/8 of a sim, and it gives you all this. We're going to talk about the 512, the 1024, and the 2048. Okay, these are the ones that we're going to deal with in this video. So as you can see, if you're a plus member, which is this level right here, if you're a plus member, you get 512 square meters as bonus lease on Mainland before fees are applied. So that means if I'm a plus member, I can have a parcel that's 512 square meters and it's paid for by Linden Lab. I don't have to pay them anything, and I can have that 512, right? If I'm not a plus member, or if I have 512 square meters past what I'm allowed to have, then I'm going to pay them $4 US dollars a month. I get 175 prims on that parcel. Actually, this is old. They've upped this. These numbers aren't right. So they need to update the website, I guess. But anyway, they call it a tier fee. So if you're a plus member, you get 512 for free. If you're a premium member, you get 1024 for free. And if you're a premium plus, you'll get a land size of 2048 for free. Now let me show you what that means. Okay. So if we go over here, I have rezzed out some land sizes to show you the comparison, along with some houses to kind of give you an idea. So this is a 512 parcel. See how little I am? This is a 512. This house, which is a Trump house, little cottage, that house can fit on this land, right? So if you had a 512, it's still a pretty good size to put a little house on. So I could take this house and move it. So that's what it looks like and about how much room you'd have left on a 512. Okay, you could put a nice little size house there. Then over here, I'm in a sandbox, y'all. It's got all sorts of stuff in here. Over here, this is a 1024. See that? And I got a couple houses rezzed out. This is the greenhouse from Kaza, and it will just fit on this. This is a house from Scarlet Creative. It's easier to move. But see, I can fit this house on a 1024 parcel. And then landscape a little in the back. Actually, I'd probably move that to the back because there's no windows. And I can landscape around here. So this is a 1024. If you're a Premium Plus member, you can have 1024 square meter parcel. And you can fit a pretty good house on that, right? And then if you are a, what is it? Premium Plus? No. What's the next membership? Oh, Premium is 1024. Premium Plus is the 2048, which I'm standing on. Sorry. It's a lot of information, you guys. I'm hoping I don't confuse you more than I help you. Alright, so this is the 2048 size that you get with Premium Plus. This is a Scarlet Creative house, and it's huge. But you see, it fits on this. It would fit on a 2048 parcel, right? So that kind of gives you an idea of the sizes of these parcels and what you can put on them. So this would be, this is a Plus member, which is one up from the free, 512 square meters. This is a Premium member, which is the one I have right now. So that's a 1024 square meter parcel. And then this is Premium Plus. You would be able to get a 2048 square meter parcel. Okay. So when we're talking about 512, 1024, 2048, this is what I'm talking about size wise. All right. So let's go back to, I don't know why I'm, okay, just in case I have to put the camera back. There we go. All right, so let's go back to this. Now that you kind of know what that looks like. Now here's the thing. You automatically can get the 512, 1024, and 2048 if you are a member, depending on Plus, Premium, or Premium Plus. The caveat to that is if you decide to get a Linden home, then it's going to take up your bonus lease. Okay, because they put the Linden homes on these parcels. So let's go to Linden Homes. This is their page on Linden Homes. And if you go down to prerequisites for getting your Linden home, oh, it's not going to click. Fine, the link's not working. I can get it. Here's all the Linden homes. Let's scroll. Okay, getting your Linden home. Finding your Linden home, abandoning, enjoying. Where is it, you guys? I just scrolled past it, probably. The prerequisite. Ah, here we are, prerequisites. So, if you have a Plus, which is the 512, a Premium, 1024, or a Premium Plus, 2048 account, and you have a Linden home, then you will not be able to have this allowance. So it's one or the other. Either I can have a Linden home, or I can get my free allowance and buy some Mainland with it and put my own house instead of a Linden home on it and do whatever I want with it. Okay. So I'll show you on my account what that looks like, because I just think it's better if I go to Land Manager and I go to my Mainland. If you notice, I have a Linden home, right? And it's a 1024. The billable size is 1024. The actual size is 1024. That's because I'm a Premium member, so I have a Linden home on that amount of land. This is some that I rent from that place I showed you in the very first website, the Azure. So I rent this. They can't bill me for that. That's the size of it. It's 8,160 square meters. But they can't bill me because I am renting from a landlord, basically. And it's the landlord who pays them for the land. So they're not going to bill me for this. When I look at land use fees, this is the payment stuff, okay? So here, when you look at land use fees, it says square meters owned. Current fees, 1,024. That's because I have a Linden home on my 1,024. I haven't donated any. That's a whole nother video. Premium bonus in square meters. So I have a bonus of 1,024, which is what this is talking about. I have a bonus lease. So what they do is they say, okay, you own this, which I don't really own it. Like I'm paying for it. And then you have a premium bonus in this amount. So you have 1,024 square meters available and your monthly cost is $0. Now, if I had another parcel from Linden Lab, because let's say I went to an auction and I bought some land and I bought another 1,024, then this would change to 2,048 because I have my Linden home on the 1,024 and I have another parcel that I bought at an auction that's 1,024. So I'd have a total of 2,048. Then they'd say you're a premium member, so you don't pay for that much of it. But now you're going to have to pay because you have 1,024 over. This is where it tells you how much you'll pay. If I had 1,024 extra because I bought an extra piece of land and now it was 2,048, but my membership only covers that much, I would be paying an extra $7 a month because I own this much more, which is what would show up here. Let's say that I'm a premium member, which I am, and I get another small piece of land. I find a piece of land at auction to buy from Linden Labs, and let's say it's 400 square meters. So now I have 1,024 plus my 400, which would be 1,424. I get this much of it free, which leaves 400 left over that they charge me for. Well, how much are they going to charge me if I have 400 square meters of land left over? I would fall into this category for the tier. So I have 400, which means I'm going to pay $4 a month. So it doesn't matter if I have 200 extra, 300 extra, 500 extra, I'm still going to fall within the $4 a month range for tier every month that I pay to Linden Lab to use that land. If I have 600 extra past my 1,024 that I get for free, and I have 600 more, they're going to charge me $7 a month because I've gone over the 512 and now I'm in this bracket. So now I pay $7 a month up here if I went 600 over and had 1,624 instead. And that would show up as $7 a month billable to me. Okay. So basically, if you have memberships, you can go to this tab on land use fees under land manager, and it'll tell you how much you own, how much you have for free, which is your bonus, right? And then you'll be able to figure out, okay, I've only got this much for free. So from Linden Labs, I could get land and you can figure out how much per month based on what bracket you're going to fall in that you'll be paying extra. Okay. All right. So this estimate, let's see, let me do the estimate. Let's say I had, 400 extra. Let's say I had 1,400. Calculate. Oh, input is empty. I'm not going to donate any. Will it not let me do it? It won't let me do it. Okay, obviously, I don't know how to use this. I've never tried this before, you guys. But anyway, hopefully that's understandable. So I'll show you group land. These are all my groups. And this just tells me if I've donated any of my land to the groups. I have not. Land use fees, that's where we were, where you can find out how much would I have to pay if I went over my membership allotment for my free, my bonus. Then Linden Home tab. This is the Linden Home I have right now. It's a 1024, right? Because I'm a premium member. So I don't pay any tier to Linden Lab for this because I'm still in my 1024. And now I get 468 prims. It's not 351. So this is my current Linden Home. And I've had this for probably a couple of years now because I like the one on the water. But that shows me what I have and what my allotment is that I'm using. Now, if I get rid of this Linden Home and abandon it, then I'll be able to just go at an auction and buy some land. And I know I keep saying auction. So let me show you what that means. Oh, wait. My mainland, I showed you that. My region. I don't have any regions, which means I don't own a sim or a homestead. And we'll talk about that in a minute. All right. So let me go back. Let's go back to land use fees. Let's say that I want to buy land because I'm a member, so I can buy land. And I keep saying auction. So let me show you what the buy land looks like. All right. There's your Linden Home, which I have one. You can rent a parcel or you can buy a parcel. Okay, or you can buy an entire sim, which is the 65,000, blah, 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 blah. Let me see if it'll drop down. I'm doing this drop. Okay, you can see it good. Let's do auctions. Let's open up auctions. Second Life has auctions, and you can, there's scheduled ones. These are all the open ones. Residents, Linden auctions from Linden Lab, or show them all. If it's Linden Lab, it means it's Mainland that somebody abandoned or that they have ready to go, and you can bid on it and try to win it. And you'll pay. That has to do with the tier, which is this thing over here. Okay. If I want resident auctions, and I've done this before where I bought land from Linden Lab and I had a parcel. I think I bought it for like 3,000 Linden. And it was still in my size range of what I was able to have, so I didn't have to pay monthly tier on it because I stayed in my 1024 budget of land, right? Didn't have a Linden Home. So when I got ready to get rid of that land, because I owned it and not Linden Lab, I owned it, I put it up for sale, and then somebody bought it from me. And then they ended up, after they own it, they ended up paying Linden Lab if they were over their allotment. So resident would be like somebody who bought my land because I gave it up. Okay, they paid me one time. I didn't own the land anymore. They did, and we were done. That was it. So here's this, and it tells you the size. You can sort by the size. See this? And it tells you the name. If you click on the name, it's going to show you where it is. See that little thing? So it's right here. That land is here. You can place a bid. That's a whole nother video, so I won't go into that. But I do want you to know that you can come and get land at auctions and buy land if you have a membership. But let's say that I buy this one. That's 2064 for square meters. Now, I have a Linden Home, and my allotment is 1024, right? So if I buy this extra piece of land, I'm going to pay the tier for 2064 because I still have a Linden Home and used up my bonus. So it's what, 2064? Yeah, 2064. So when I look here, I went over this level. I've jumped up to this level. They're going to charge me $22 a month in monthly tier paid to Linden Lab because I'm in this bracket up to between 2049 and 4096. So if I were to get this land, I'd be paying an extra $22 a month to Linden Lab for this land, besides the price I'm going to pay at auction. Okay, so in this case, I'm paying Linden Labs monthly to have this overage. So this is the important thing to keep in mind, is this land use fees page if you're going to buy land. All right, so there's the auction, The other thing you can do, let's look at private regions. This is if you want to buy a sim or a homestead or a gaming region. My state does not allow gaming and gambling, so I couldn't have a gaming region. And they track it by your IP address. So a full region is an entire sim, right? 65,000. In US dollars, I would pay $349 for them to set it up for me and get it ready. And then I'd pay them $209 a month after that if I wanted a full sim. If I wanted a homestead, which is the same amount of land, but you get less prims, you only get 5,000 prims. This one you get 20,000 and you can pay a little extra and get 30,000 prims. That's the difference between full region and homestead. But with a homestead, since I only have 5,000 prims, I only pay $149 to set it up and $109 a month. But it's the same size as a complete sim. When I say that, you're probably like, what does that even mean if you're not familiar with, or you're new to Second Life? I'll show you. See this big green area? This is a full region. This is a full sim. There's your 512, right? 1024, 2048. That big green part is a full sim. So you can see what that looks like compared to these allotments. A homestead is the same size as this. It's the same thing, but you get less prims to be able to put less stuff on it. Now, they have updated their rules. It used to be if you had a homestead, or if you had a sim, you could buy a homestead secondary. Now, if you are a Premium Plus member, then like over here, if you're the Premium Plus, you can have a homestead without having to have a sim first. Which, if you're in the market for that, there's that piece of information. But they did update their policy. But you have to be Premium Plus. Alright, let's go back. So if I buy a private region from Linden Lab, I will buy it and they'll set it up for that price. And then every month I pay them a maintenance fee or a tier. I'm basically renting it from them directly from Linden Lab. Okay, I'm still going to pay. If I were to go over here, I could rent a sim. Let me show you. Here's a full region with 20,000 prims. So I could rent an entire sim from one of these places, right? I could rent one. But here's the difference. When you rent from a resident who is already paying Linden Labs because they've done this step and they parcel it off and rent it to residents, and they're basically your landlord, this is what happens. They have to pay this for the land that they bought and parceled up and are renting out to people as a landlord. So normally you will pay more for a parcel because these people still have to pay their monthly maintenance fee to Linden Lab, and you're paying your Lindens to them. So they still have to make a profit or at least break even, right? Does that make sense? So you're either going to buy land and rent directly from Linden Lab, right? Directly from them and deal with Linden Labs like that. Or you are going to rent from somebody else who already bought the land and they're paying Linden Labs, and then you're just paying for a small piece of whatever land they've parceled out. Okay? So this is basically your landlord. Or if you want to deal directly with Linden Labs, you can do this and buy your land as a sim or buy it at auction. You can also buy Mainland. I'll show you. Let me pull up. Let's go back to the auction. Let's go back. Okay, buy land. Auction. Actually, no. Let's go back to land rentals. Let's see. Search rentals now. Let's see what happens. Alright, this is on Mainland. Let's just see what it comes up. Okay, the map. So this shows me on the map that this parcel is for rent, right? And I can teleport there. I don't really want to teleport. Let me just open it so we can look at it on the map in SL, because we can get more information that way. Let me show you this. Alright. So this is abandoned land that they're going to rent out. Let's look on the map. Let me open this up more. So this is the abandoned land. But when you look on the map, there's so many ways to find land, you guys. See this little price tag? That means that that land is for sale, right? So anywhere you see a price tag, and then this is moderate and adult. I'm not even showing the general regions. We got that. So every time you see a price tag, it's something for rent or to buy, right? So this says flat, green, grassy, low lag parcel, 2048 square meters, 703 prims. It's $2,499 to rent that one right there. Okay, for a 2048. That's $2,499 Linden, which I don't know how much that is. What is it? $2,499. Let's see. 2499 Lindens. How much US dollars is that? Okay, that's about $12 a month for me to rent that. This, there's another one for rent. For sale. No, it's for sale. 1024 meters for sale. 3,500. So this one's for sale, which means if I go over there and I give them 3,500 Linden, then I buy that land and it's now mine. However, since I have a Linden home already, that means I've just added 1,024 meters to my land allowance, and they're going to charge me based on the land usage fee, right? Which is what, $7 a month for 1024? But anyway, that's how that works. And if you zoom out, you see all these yellow places? This is a 3,379 square meters for 8,000 Linden. Okay. And I'm assuming that's for sale and not for rent. It's 2.4 Lindens per square meter. If you can get something for 1 Linden per square meter or less, it's an excellent deal. Crow's Nest, let's see, this one is a 1024, and they want 10,000 Linden to buy it. 10,000 Linden. It's in the middle of all this other stuff. Okay, but you can search the map. Some of them are for sale, some of them are for rent. Graceful Sunset View, that's a 2048 for 10,000 Linden. So this person is selling that little plot, that 2048, for 10,000 Linden. And the thing is, if I am a premium member and I buy it for 10,000 and I give this person 10,000 Linden, then I have a Linden home, which takes up 1024 of free. So that means I still have to pay for 1024 square meters of this. So I'm going to be paying $7 a month after I give this person 10,000 Linden. I'm going to pay $7 US a month to have this land. But it's mine at that point, and I can resell it or whatever. It took me, I had a snow region. My land that I bought from Linden Lab was in a snowy region, and my neighbors were building crazy stuff, so I wanted to sell it. And I sold it for 3,000 Linden, which is what I bought it for, but it took me about 6 months before somebody bought it. So there's that. Here's another one for sale. That is 80,000 Linden. It's an 8,192 square meter. So you can look around here, and again, there's a whole lot of things to consider. Here's a oceanside parcel. It's protected, which means nobody can build in front of it. And it's, what is it, 3,000 land impact, and they want 4,000 Linden a week. So this is a rental because you'll pay them weekly to live here. It is not for sale, as in you buy it, it's then yours. So I know that's a lot of information, you guys, but the bottom line is you're either going to pay a landlord, like this person who bought this from Linden Lab and now they're renting it to people. So there's your landlord, you pay them directly. And like I could rent this if I wasn't a plus premium or premium plus member. If I just had a free membership, I could rent this from this person and not have to be in a membership. Okay, I could just pay them Lindens. Now, it looks like right here they'd sell it for, is that 1,500,000 Linden? Yeah, okay, they'll sell it for that much, which is a lot of money, I'm just saying. So, there's so much to cover when you buy land. There's just so much that I could tell y'all. But I don't want to confuse you. Hopefully I haven't confused you too bad already. But the bottom line is that when you buy or rent land in Second Life, you have two choices. If you're a member, you can either buy directly from Linden Lab and then pay them a tier based on how much land you actually have bought and own and how much your allowance is, right? By that land use fees chart. Or you can rent, just not deal with Linden Lab, and you can rent from another resident who has already bought the land and is just renting it out to you, and that's your landlord that you pay. And then you don't have to worry about tier, you don't have to worry about any of that because you don't own the land, you're just renting it from the landlord. Okay? But either way, you're going to pay for land. Linden Labs owns it all because they own Second Life. It just depends on whether you want the middleman person, the landlord, and not to have to deal with tier and figuring all that out, or if you want to buy it yourself. Personally, what I do is I like to rent it from someone else and have a landlord. The only way I would pay Linden Lab directly for land is if I want to buy a sim, because at that point the sim is mine and I may want to parcel it out and do some rentals and whatever on it. But otherwise, I am more than happy not to have to deal with tier and figuring out my land use fees and all that crap. I just rent from landlords, from other people who figure that stuff out for themselves. Because in those small amounts, it's worth it to me to rent from a landlord in here. So that's the basic between buy and rent. You're still going to pay, quote, rent to somebody, either Linden Lab or the person that you're renting from who already bought it from Linden Lab. So you're still going to pay for it. All right. Because even if you have a membership and you have bonus lease, as they call it, you're still paying your monthly membership or your annual membership. You're still paying for it. Okay. They just call it bonus and say it's free. So keep that in mind as well. So if you're new to this or you're a free member, just rent from somebody, have a landlord. But again, go back and watch my other video on where I rent from, because that'll give you some tips on finding land and good prices and what it is when you rent from someone. Okay, so everybody can rent land in SL. Everybody can do that. You can have a landlord, it'll be great if you have a nice landlord, just saying. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, or if there's something I confuse you about, please drop it in the comments and I'll try to clear it up. I know that this was kind of a crash course, but yeah, hopefully it helps you a little bit. But yeah, if you have questions, just let me know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up if it was helpful in any way at all. Because it helps my videos be seen on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed, would love for you to subscribe. If there's something else you have questions about or would like me to do a video on, drop that in the comments. Be more than happy to work that out and help you navigate Second Life. All right, you guys. So that was it. I hope you have a good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world, and whenever you watch this. And I will see you on the next video or live stream, because we're still doing the DDC land. That's still ongoing. All right, you guys take care and I'll see you later. Bye.